Waiting the terror attack at the Garissa University. And let's listen in now. Well, we'll be joining my colleague Mel Mendo in just a moment to get more details of what is happening in the courts. But members of the National Assembly this morning debated on the role of the Senate as a section of legislators declared it should be disbanded. The legislators claim the senators have been trying to exercise powers that legally belong to the National Assembly. This coming at a time when the stalemate between the two houses over the division of revenue bill continues.
If there is ever going to be a constitutional amendment, the first amendment should be to 94, 95, and 96 to redefine these relationships and either give the Senate more tangible work to do, or remove them altogether, or make them a committee of this House, which can then meet and work in terms of protecting devolution without necessarily having to duplicate the roles we have.
If you look at other developed democracies and jurisdictions, Mr. Speaker, the Senate is a club of membership of eminent persons, Mr. Speaker, who only sit quarterly. They sit 3 times a year. And they come up with a resolution that helps govern the country, Mr. Speaker. They are like advisors to the president, Mr. Speaker. Not this Senate, which is running around here everywhere, claiming to be involved in everything. The other day they were investigating Kenya Airways, why Kenya Airways is collapsing. What county money is in Kenya Airways?
In fact, senators are now behaving like bandits, Mr. Speaker. They are bandits attacking the responsibility and functions of the National Assembly. And we should call them as legislative bandits, Mr. Speaker, for what they are.
And these public and state officers, we must tell them, the Senate has no powers to impeach you. The Senate has no powers to remove you from office. So even if they indict you, they threaten you, the only house that has the powers under the Constitution to vet and to remove state officers is the National Assembly.
And away from Parliament, one person has been killed and an unknown number of livestock stolen in Elabor village in Sololo, Marsabit County. Burial preparations are ongoing. This is the 3rd time the village has been raided by bandits from late last month. Last week, 2 villages were wounded and an unknown number of livestock stolen. There are concerns that these recent attacks could lead to mass displacements due to counter-attacks. And drama ensued in Kirinyaga County yesterday as armed police officers blocked members of the county assembly from accessing Governor Anne Waiguru's office over the health workers' strike. Police officers who were deployed to the county headquarters insisted that no one would be allowed to access the governor's office.
Confrontation erupted between Kirinyaga County Assembly Health Committee members and police outside the governor's office after the committee, together with health workers' unions, attempted to seek audience with Kirinyaga Governor Anne Waiguru. The incident came after a long day of deliberations between union members and the committee at the county assembly, where health workers claimed that they have been trying to seek dialogue with the executive without any success. Armed with tear gas canisters, the officers kept vigil to stop any member of the county assembly together with the union leaders from accessing the governor's office. Led by Health Committee Chair Frederick Fundi, they said that the MCAs have given the county government an ultimatum of 48 hours to resolve the health crisis in the county, failure to which they will proceed to seek justice through legal avenues, including the Senate. Fundi said the county assembly had approved all amount of money needed to facilitate the welfare of the health sector, only for them to learn that the county government had not implemented the same. The Kenya Medical Practitioners, Pharmacists and Dentists Union Central Region Secretary General Dr. Gor Godi said that it was unfortunate for the county government to use force in denying them their rights. The health workers' strike is now in the 33rd day. Nayoma Sampao, NTV.
And Deputy President William Ruto has admitted that there is a gap in the provision of universal healthcare in the country. The Deputy President says it is imperative that the universal health coverage covers for all Kenyans. The Deputy President spoke at his Harambee House and Annex office where he met a group of university students. The students have been raising funds under the help of Wangari Walk, again in support of Faris Wangari, who is seeking medical services in India after being involved in an accident in 2017. The Deputy President also defended his generosity, which has come under sharp criticism, especially from NASA leader Raila Odinga, who questioned the source of the funds.
It takes us back to our program on universal health care under the Big Four program, that indeed there is a need, there is a gap in matters to do with healthcare in our republic that needs to be addressed, and that we must progress continuously until we get a health insurance cover that will cover the majority of Kenyans, including the vulnerable.
The last planting season was a tricky one for most maize farmers in the North Rift region due to the erratic weather patterns that resulted in delayed rains, poor crop germination and increased cost of production for those farmers who had to replant. But as Gabriel Kudaka now reports, farmers are now being challenged to diversify to other short-term crops besides increasing forest cover as a mitigation towards climate change.
Mid-March to mid-April is usually the normal planting season for maize following the onset of heavy rains. But this year, things were quite different due to changes in weather patterns that saw heavy rains start in May.
Mwende kasaidi ya mwezi 3 chini bila mvua, kuna singine inaharibika. Sasa kuna wachache tu ambao walirudia wakapanda, ndio sasa imekuja.
These saw some farmers replant their maize as others decided to wait for wheat planting season in June.
We went through the March, April and May without any rains until June. It is the high time we make sure that we plant trees in the farmland to meet the international standard of 10% tree cover.
Ile sheria ilipitishwa bungeni ya 10% compulsory forest cover, we are going to implement in this county. Sasa nataka kuambia wakulima next year, kama shamba yako ni eka 10, anza kutenga eka 1 ya kupanda miti.
Some farmers like Chemijor have since shifted to short-term crops such as Irish potatoes.
Watu wameanza kuchange, wameacha mahindi, wamekuja kwa viazi.
The effect of the climate change saw water levels drop in various rivers within Uasin Gishu County, resulting in further water rationing. Gabriel Kudaka, NTV.
And residents of Gede area in Kilifi County held peaceful demonstrations protesting against laxity by the Kenya Power and Lighting Company as they have been left in the dark for 2 weeks now. The residents have accused the Kenya Power and Lighting Company of negligence following a series of blackouts in Mkenge area, which has now resulted in increased cases of insecurity. They claim their attempts to reach out to Kenya Power to solve the problem has failed and now want the government to intervene.
Na kwa sababu ya moto kukosekana Mkenge, imekuwa watoto wetu wanabakwa, wakina mama wanapokonywa vibeti kwenye njia, vijana wale wakora wanaingia kwa manyumba na kutupora, na hata hivi sasa vyakula vitu kwa mafiriji vimeoza.
Kwa sababu ya hii transformer juzi ilibasti, nikakimbia mbio, mimi nikajiingiza mvunguni, nikafikiri ni watu wamekuja kuniiba. Nilifikiri risasi mimi. Sasa hii watu wangu hawasomi, tunahangaika.
Well, in other news making headlines internationally, at least 40 people have been killed and 70 others wounded by an airstrike that hit a migrant detention center in Libya on Tuesday night. The explosion happened in a Tripoli suburb, with Libyan strongman Khalifa Haftar, who has been trying for months to seize the capital, being blamed for the attack. Bodies were strewn on the floor of the hangar, mixed with the belongings and blood-soaked clothes of migrants as rescuers searched for more survivors. Osama Ali, a spokesman for the emergency services, said 120 migrants had been detained in the hangar, which was directly hit by the strike. In recent years, Libya has been a key springboard for migrants seeking to travel to Europe. The country has been torn by violence and division since long-time ruler Muammar Gaddafi was deposed and killed in 2011. suspects of the Garissa terror attack is currently happening. Let's listen in.
This is from Anti-Counterfeit Agency. No wonder. You know, I was wondering how whatever. Anti-Counterfeit Agency, this is the way you always handle your cases. Even this morning you are not here when Madam, my prosecutor refused to hold your brief. What is the problem? Not this one. There's another matter in which you didn't come, and even yesterday. How many matters, Madam Kirim?
We actually all brief almost all the.
Do you have a diary from the Anti-Counterfeit Agency? Do you know I have complained against the Anti-Counterfeit Agency since I came to this court in 2017? You file cases for the sake of I don't know what, but you will not see any substance in the matters that come to court.
All right, we do apologize for that slight technical hitch there. Of course, we will be heading back to the courts later on. The sentencing of the 3 suspects of the Garissa University terror attack has been pushed to 3 p.m. That is 3 p.m. later on this afternoon. And we will be getting more details of that. We understand that was because one of the lawyers of one of the suspects was not in court for that sentencing. Well, away from that, we will be now taking a look at other stories making headlines in the world of sports.